everyone. Namaste to all. Today is a very special day for all the people who have joined this webinar, because this is some kind of a unique program which we have actually tried to present. It's not that we have never tried, but this is a very different one. And as the saying goes, that if angel asks me to make a wish, I would make a wish for good health and prosperity for another angel on earth, and that is my mother. If I am not wrong, you would also do the same. Greetings to everyone who have joined today's webinar on alternative way of motherhood. I, Dr. Mayuri Dutt, KNC member, cordially welcome all of you and want to pay you thanks for having me a chance to anchor this program today. Did you know the word mother is derived from the Sanskrit word matre, which means a woman who gives birth, and a mother is the most influential character in everyone's life. She is our first well-wisher, first teacher, and also our first friend. She has to awake many nights just for taking care of her child. In philosophy, it is said that when God found it tough to protect the whole world, he made mothers. A mother is a beautiful gem in everyone's life and cannot be replaced with anyone else. Today's program is a unique program which is decorated by the presence of our chief guest, Dr. Siddhartha Chatterjee, speakers, Dr. Nalini Gupta, Dr. Ratnabali Chakravarti, Dr. Rita Bhattacharya. We were expecting Dr. Ruma Bhattacharya, but due to some inconvenience, she is unable to join. And our respected Professor Shampa Das, who will chair the entire program. In memory of Dr. Subhash Mukhopadhyay, born on 16 January 1931, and he died of unnatural death on 19th June 1981. He was an Indian scientist physician from Hazaribagh, Bihar, and Orissa province, British India, now in Jharkhand, India, who created the world's second and India's first child using in vitro fertilization. Kanupriya Garwal, famously known as Durga, who was born in 1978, just 67 days after the first IVF baby in UK. Afterwards, Dr. Subhash Mukhopadhyay was harassed by then West Bengal state government and Indian government. He was not allowed to share his achievements on the international platform and was dejected. For being dejected, he committed suicide on 19th June 1981. A movie, Ek Doctor Ki Maut, Death of a Physician, directed by Tapan Sinha, was the first eye-opener for the public eye. The first person to initiate for Dr. S. Mukhopadhyay was T.C. Anand Kumar. On her 25th birthday, revealed her identity and spoke about Dr. S. Mukhopadhyay. She said that his achievement had been acknowledged by a reputed international publication, the Dictionary of Medical Biology. Foundation, which enlisted names of 1,100 medical scientists from 100 countries around the world for their path-breaking contributions to the medical science. Dr. Mukhopadhyay's name is one of those names. In his memory, we are going to have a program which is going to be chaired by Professor Shampa Das. Professor Shampa Das is an Indian biotechnologist, renowned scientist, and an expert on public sector agriculture biotechnology. She is a fellow of the Indian National Sciences India, National Academy of Science India. She is working with both institutions focused on science and technology. She is Vice President, Kolkata Nivedita Shakti, and advisor to Vigyanika Shakti Vipnet Club under Vigyan Prasar, Department of Science and Technology. It's an honor for us to be associated with such an eminent personality, Professor Shampa Das. Over to Professor Shampa Das. We welcome you today to chair this program. We have with us Dr. Nalini Jan Gupta, leading gynecologist, IVF, an infertility specialist, PhD under Professor S.K. Sen, postdoc from Dr. Kane Jones, UK. She has solved more than 10,000 infertility cases till now, an outstanding success rate of 55 to 65% in IVF process. Know how to handle difficult cases. Has delivered more than 10,061 babies through various ART methodology for the past 33 years. Awarded for her research in impact of tradition on apoptosis in human ovary under guidance of Dr. Helen M. Fiction. Presently working as genetist with Dr. B.N. Chakravarti Institute of Reproduction Medicine, Salt Lake, last 31 years. We welcome you, ma'am, Dr. Nalini Gupta. We have with us another speaker today, Dr. Ratnavali Chakravarti. She's MD, DGO, FICM, CH, consultant infertility specialist, practices with a high degree of professionalism and work ethics along with compassionate care. She promotes normal painless deliveries. Currently, she is a consultant with various prominent hospitals, Bhagirathi New India Women and Child Care Center, ILS, and Columbia Asia. She is conferred with IOG Dr. Satyapal Award 2017, IMA National President Appreciation Award 2017 and 18, the Economic Times Inspiring Gynecologist of India 2018. As Director of MAGS Medical and Research Center, she uses all latest technologies and provides help to infertility patients. Chief says for
Dr. Ruma Bandapadhyay also joined.
Oh my, thank you so very much, Ruma ma'am. So it's our blessings that she's also come. Dr. Ruma Bhattacharya, BHMS MD, homeopathic, practicing for last 31 years, has used her expertise and have cured some of her infertile patients. Now who are now happy parents. We welcome you, Dr. Ruma ma'am. Our chief guest of today's program is Dr. Siddharth Chatterjee. Graduated from Calcutta University, obtained his diploma from the same university. He was the member of second test tube baby team Kolkata, 1985. He left for UK in 1987, had MRCOG in 1989. Worked for 4 years, then in US and 4 years in US. At present, he is director and chief consultant of Calcutta Fertility Mission. He is involved in basic and clinical researches in reproductive medicines, has published papers in many national and international journals, and has written number of chapters for reference books. Welcome, Dr. Siddharth Chatterjee, sir. So our today's program, as we said, is a unique one, and I would be requesting Professor Shampa Das to take the chair and initiate the rest of the program. Thank you very much.
Mayuri, I can't see Shampadi.
So yeah, ma'am is there. We can't hear her. She has to
unmute.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mayuri. Thank you for a very nice introduction about the theme of today's program and setting the stage for today's program, the alternative way of motherhood. Thank you very much, Mayuri. Thank you for your busy schedule. You made this. Really, it's very proud matter for us. Actually, passion for being a mother is a natural and noble instinct of most of all women. However, being a mother it is not really necessary for being a biological mother. The glaring examples are Ma Sharoda and Mother Teresa. They were not the biological mother of any child, but still they are the true mother of millions and millions of devotees. But we, the ordinary people, are mostly self-centered about our own primary passion in our own family. Mothering is the prime criteria for an ideal family. In our society, the girl children are nurturing this idea at the core of their hearts, and they grow with that idea. When they grow, they get married, and they start aspiring to fulfill the hidden passion to be a mother and raise a family. Unfortunately, some women dreams never fulfill due to many reasons. Today, we have experts and stalwarts. They have experience in their own research field, and we are very proud that some of these stalwart speakers are present here in this platform today. And from KNS, Kolkata Nivedita Shakti, we are welcoming those stalwart researchers and speakers to express their experience about the problems and how they find out the solutions for this alternative way of motherhood. Today is a special day because Mayuri already said that today we are celebrating the birth anniversary of Dr. Subhash Mukhopadhyay, the pioneering researcher and physician of this city. Dr. Subhash Mukhopadhyay was the pioneer of creation of first test tube baby in this country. Although maybe he is second one for in terms of world test tube baby, but first time she created test tube baby in India. And today we are proud that we have with us today Dr. Siddhartha Chatterjee, who had privilege to work with Dr. Chatterjee. Yes, Rita?
Didi, unmute yourself.
IEM, along with Kolkata Nivedita Shakti, today the program is connecting with IEM also.
Okay.
IEM also jointly doing this program.
Okay, so Kolkata Nivedita Shakti and IEM, Institute of Engineering and Management, they are also collaborating with us, and we are jointly organizing this alternative way of motherhood. So today we are proud that we have one stalwart physician, gynecologist, surgeon, Dr. Siddhartha Chatterjee, who was privileged to work with Dr. Subhash Mukhopadhyay. And so today we are very eager to listen about Dr. Mukhopadhyay and his work from him. So already Mayuri introduced Dr. Chatterjee and other speakers, Dr. Nalini Gupta, Dr. Ratnabuli, and Dr. Ruma Bhattacharya, all the speakers she already introduced. So I don't want to waste more time. I invite Dr. Chatterjee. Please, Dr. Chatterjee, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, because you can't see me properly because I'm doing my clinic at the present moment, and that's why I'm completely covered.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, this is a unique program, what I've heard. And I just heard about Kolkata Nivedita Shakti, who are actually holding this program about Professor Subhash Mukhopadhyay. Professor Mukherjee was our direct teacher. He was then assistant professor in the Department of Physiology when he entered in this medical college. And he saw a person who is totally careless about himself, was walking towards the students' hostel, And students' hostel was very close to our physiology department. And interesting enough, that Professor Mukherjee was friend to everybody. Now, he had a personal room where he actually used to do his own work, and he was holding a PhD program, and 2 to 3 candidates were doing research work at that time, whom we saw at NLS Medical College coming every day. Now, Professor Mukherjee was endocrinologist, but the first class he took about us, about the cardiovascular system, and I remember at that time, when he was taking the cardiovascular system, he told me, I'm not a cardiologist, but I'm telling you the physiology of the heart. And that was amazing class. Next, when he came for taking us about hormones, he used one very interesting word, which I'm telling in Bengali. I hope all of you will understand. প্রত্যেক দেবতার একজন বাহন আছে, তেমন প্রত্যেক হরমোনের একজন ক্যারিয়ার আছে. Those are called carrier proteins. That is the first thing which stuck in our head. And we came to know how a teacher can teach us. That is about his teaching. Now, usually he was sitting in his room, and a lot of students gathered around him, and they usually discussed about many aspects of science and philosophy. I'm sorry, physiology. And whenever he saw me, he used to tell me, why don't you come and join the discussion? But I was very scared of all those things. I was quite away from him. And then he was my direct examiner in our first MBBS examination. And that is a tremendous examination was there when I stood first in the university in his hand. But our co-examiner was Professor Jadav Nath Chaudhary. All of you know about him. He was the VC of Banaras in the university, and he didn't allow to ask me any question by Professor Subhash Mukherjee, because he told he is a direct student, you cannot ask any question. Examiner Subhash Mukherjee. Then his research. At that point, it was beyond our any eligibility to understand what he was doing. But that is the time, that is, I mean, 1978, 79, or I'm sorry, that was 1973, 4. He was doing the research on this IVF program, in vitro fertilization. And initially, the eggs were collected at hysterectomy specimen, from the hysterectomy specimen, giving them chromosome cycle, and then the follicles were taken out from the ovaries. And I saw some people, one of them is Dr. Sudarshan Ghosh, who used to come and collect these follicles in a flask and take there to conduct the research on egg development and fertilization. We were busy in our studies, so naturally the focus went off to a different aspect. But in 1978, one morning, we found in the newspaper about the Test Tube Baby program from Professor Subhash Mukherjee, and 4 months ahead of that, the in vitro fertilization first Test Tube Baby came out from Patrick Steptoe and Robert Edwards from UK, and the baby was born at Oldham. And later on, I also worked in Oldham when I was in UK, but basically didn't find any trace of that work. And Patrick Steptoe was retired at that time, and nobody remembered him in Oldham District Hospital. I also visited Bonehole, but I met Professor Bob Edwards, and he was a different man altogether and very friendly. But Professor Mukherjee was of similar character. He was also friendly to students, to his researchers, to everybody, and used to discuss the things in a different way always. Now, coming to this IVF program, what was unique of Professor Mukherjee at that time, he used gonadotrophin to get multiple eggs, where Professor Bob Edwards, they used natural eggs. Professor Subhash Mukherjee collected the eggs through the vagina by colpotomy, that is cutting the vagina, brought the ovaries down and collected the eggs. And later on, we are now collecting eggs by transvaginal route with ultrasound guidance. He actually froze all eggs and transferred them in a natural cycle. These 4 things were very unique at that moment, because his thoughts were ahead of time, because Westerners didn't do all these things. to get their first test tube baby. So research was going on everywhere in the world, also in the United States, UK, and at par in India by this group, and also in Bombay, it was continued. One of them you have just took his name, who actually recognized Professor Mukherjee in 2003 by ICMR. So basically, the whole work was going on, and ultimately in 1978, Professor Mukherjee, 4 months behind Bob Edwards, declared that the test tube baby in Calcutta was born, Durga. The unfortunate thing was, Professor Mukherjee's evidences were not collected well, they are not gathered together. And Professor Mukherjee probably didn't think that it will happen like that when he faced the program. I mean, Bengal Officers Gynecological Society, who actually held this meeting where Professor Mukherjee had to prove that whether he has done IVF or not. Probably the papers are not at that point ready. I don't remember that because I was very young student at that time. And probably these evidences were not well collected. And I also believe that these people who actually examined him didn't have any idea about test tube baby at that time. And what happened thereafter, that in 2003, people had a lot of idea about IVF, and that's why his papers, when collected, there are those who are taken into account, and all these things are jotted down together, and people realized that yes, he did the test tube baby in a proper way. And Durga was the first test tube baby of India, probably the second test tube baby or third test tube baby of the world. Now, why I'm telling all these things? Because I work very closely with Professor B.N. Chakraborty, who actually did the second test tube baby in Calcutta. And that test tube baby was born in 1985. And I believe Professor Chakraborty was very close associate of Professor Mukherjee as well. And when Professor Mukherjee committed suicide, Professor Chakraborty just changed his interest towards this reproductive medicine, because he was doing all this work on cancer, congenital malformation. Then he actually shifted his focus towards reproductive medicine and IVF and started working on IVF. And then initially, Professor Dr. Sudarshan Sasidhar was with him. We were doing the work together. We are young students. I just joined him in 1980. And then gradually, I also got involved in the whole program. Though I didn't understand the things that clearly at that point, I had to read a lot. And in 1985, when the first test tube baby was born, and we had to face the same thing, same meeting of Bengal Officer and Gynae Society in Arjikar Medical College, we all 4-5 students who were worked with him very closely were with Professor Chakraborty, all our documents and all our calculations to prove that it was really a test tube baby. But I probably believe Professor Chakraborty's charisma helped at that point, because not much of questions came out. And I also believe that people came to know about test tube baby at that time, and a lot of knowledge about that. That's why the recognition of Professor Chakraborty was easier, which Professor Mukherjee didn't get at that time. And that was a really very painful situation. And ultimately, when Professor Chakraborty did the first test tube baby, I was after him and telling him, you have to reproduce the result. You have to do the second test tube baby. Then people will believe that you are really doing it. Otherwise, it may become just a surprise or a fluke. The Professor Chakraborty time to time was very annoyed with me. And ultimately, second test tube baby was born. And ultimately, the series of test tube baby came over. Thousands and thousands of test tube baby came out from Institute of Reproductive Medicine. Now, Professor Subhash Bhabati's time was very tough at that point, because he had to do work in a government setup where you had to do a lot of limitations to do the work. And probably that's why he could not carry out the research continuously to produce further test tube babies. And Professor Mukherjee is definitely a genius with a beautiful, thoughtful mind. And whenever we met him, he used to tell certain things which inspired us to do more and more work. And what I am surprised that the person who has to keep clear of him in his student life actually came back to the way of Professor Subhash Mukherjee, to the same path. We started working, holding the hands of Professor B.N. Chakraborty. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for describing all this old story to us so that we came to know how Durga was born and how the controversy was created. Thank you very much. In spite of all busy schedule, you just made it and came to us and described all these stories. We are very happy. Sir,
Most welcome.
we are
Most welcome.
wishing you good luck and for your next future achievements, all things come to your way very soon. So we wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you. Now, can I call our next speaker, Dr. Nalini Gupta? Please, Nalini, are you around?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Nalini, please.
Yes.
Dr. Mayuri Datta already introduced you. So there is no need to introduce again. Still, I like to share to our all the members and participants that Nalini is my
Yes.
old friend, and we have worked in a laboratory while we were doing PhD together. So she is my old friend, Dr. Nalini Jasani Gupta, and her husband was also our good friend. He was also in Bose Institute and working in the related area. Nalini is continuing her research in Dr. Chatterjee already said that Dr. B.N. Chakraborty, the founder of Reproductive Institute at Salt Lake, Nalini is associated with that institute, and now she will tell her experience about alternative way of motherhood. Please, Nalini. Go ahead, please, Nalini.
Thank you, Shampati and Nivedita Institute of Calcutta. I am very grateful to you to give me this opportunity. First and foremost, let me tell that I am very privileged to work with Dr. B.N. Chakraborty, who was associated with Dr. Mukherjee. So it gives me a special thankfulness for giving me this opportunity at this present day. So I will be talking on infertility causes and remedies. The first thing is the infertility is a disease of male and female reproductive system defined by the failure of achievement of pregnancy after 1 year of trying. So previously it was always thought that females are responsible for infertility before 50 years or so. But we have found out that 50% of the infertility comes from males and 50% from females. And in the Indian population, 15% of the couple are infertile. Now, just a minute. But the first and foremost thing is what are the causes of infertility? Until I know the cause, we cannot treat. So in case of male partner, the causes of male infertility are abnormal semen profile, varicocele, hypogonadism, prostate cancer, infections, lifestyle, medications, blockage of sperm delivery system, and a genetic factor. So here we can see that there are different types of sperms which can be found in human population, and only A type gives a normal type. Otherwise, there is B is a tapering head, cytoplasmic droplet, pinhead, piriform head, and small oval head with deformed midpiece, cytoplasmic droplet on the normal head, and a double tailed. So if any of these things are present in sperms, then they are not fertile. And for example, in causes of female infertility would be tubal block, infantile uterus, polycystic ovaries, congenital adrenal hyperplasia, premature ovarian failure, and genetic factor. At present, the environment we are living in plays a big role for example, that since it's good that ladies are getting more career oriented. So what happens is the marriage is usually late, and the age of the women becomes more, when a reproductive age becomes less. All the women are born with fixed number of eggs. So that gets exhausted as you age. So that is the biggest problem at the moment. And secondly, with the pollution, the lifestyle and food habits, and for example, living separately from the partner for some reason or the other, for say, if the job is not there or anything of that type. And one more factor which we have observed is that a person or a woman or a man working in computer science, when working in front of computer for more than 12 hours a day, they develop some sort of infertility. That I will come to you later. So infertility can be divided into two categories: primary infertility and secondary infertility. In primary infertility, types of chromosomal abnormalities, for example, the genetic abnormalities would be numerical, where chromosome number is changed, and the structure where the format is changed. For example, the chromosomes can be prepared from any tissue, any growing cells. For example, blood, amniotic fluid, chorionic, or any growing cells you can grow. You can culture it and then make it a karyotype and analyze it. The first and common infertility of female is a genetic defect, is a Turner syndrome, where there is a 45, that is one chromosome less, one X chromosome is less. This type of women are short, with shield chest and infertile. And similarly, in males, there is Klinefelter syndrome, where you have one chromosome extra, that is XXY. So it is, instead of 46 chromosomes, they have 47 chromosomes with 2 X chromosomes and 1 Y chromosome. Now, another is a structural abnormality, where you can see the breakpoints. For example, in this slide, I'm showing you number 1 chromosome has a breakpoint at centromeric region. This interferes in the cell division and hence results in infertility. The other common type of infertility, which is found about in 20% of the women, is the loss of functional follicles under the age of 40. It occurs in 1 to 2% of women, amenorrhea for more than 6 months, low concentration of estrogen and raised concentration of FSH. Other causes are immunological abnormality, physical status, nutrient deficiency, chemotherapy, radiation. POF may be familiar or sporadic. X chromosomal, this gene is X chromosomally linked and it is maternally transmitted. One can see a POF, 2 sisters having POF, 3 sisters having POF. So this can be transmitted from mother to the daughter. The most common signal of POF is the slanting eyes. If a girl comes with amenorrhea, then looking at her, one can easily say that she is POF, but it is not always. Sometimes they look very normal. So next category of female infertility, what we see is in female, we have 46XX and in male 46XY. But sometimes mistakes happen. 46X, a female is 46XY, male is a 46XX. So they are, both categories are infertile. And we have seen more than 100 cases in our institute of 46XX male and 46XY female. Now, since the women are born with fixed number of follicles, as they age, the number of abnormal babies to be born, chances of getting abnormal babies becomes high. So at the age of 40, 45, with the conceived, then you can see that the chances becomes more than 30% in that women. This is what we were talking of primary infertility. Now there is a secondary infertility where a woman can conceive, but what happens is that they cannot retain the baby, then miscarriage takes place. So most of the cases you will find that in first trimester miscarriages, and if it is a repeated miscarriage, we find it's like an iceberg where only few trisomy 13, 18, Down syndrome or Turner syndrome will go to the edge. The other bigger chromosome involvement will be like an iceberg and result in abortion. If you see the aborted fetal material, and if you see that what type of abnormality they have, in more than 60%, they have a genetic problem. So what do you do if you see a fetus having or a repeated miscarriage? Then one can go to see the parents if they are carrier, if they are carrier of any of these type of abnormality. If they are carrier, then I'll come to you later. This is the most common type of carrier type, where you can see Robertsonian translocation, where D and G group chromosomes, for example, here 14 has a translocation of 21, and result, what will happen? The person is carrying this will be normal, absolutely normal, having no problem. But carrier will be normal, but when they are going for the reproductive stage, then these will interfere during mitosis and meiosis and result in abnormal gametes. And hence you will find Down syndrome and Turner syndromes and other sorts of genetic abnormalities in the children. So what is the future remedies of infertility treatment? You can see that by IVF, IUI, we can go for reproductive options you can give to the couple is adoption, proceed for the further pregnancy with or without prenatal diagnosis, artificial insemination by donor, in vitro fertilization with donor egg, or microinjection of sperm. But the pitfall of this is incorrect and incomplete diagnosis, genetic heterogeneity, and gonadal mosaicism. So when do you ask a patient to go for chromosome analysis? It's a dysmorphic feature suggestion of chromosomal syndrome, unexplained mental retardation, family study of structural chromosomal abnormality, multiple congenital abnormality, unexplained stillbirth, female with unexplained short stretcher, recurrent miscarriage, primary infertility, ambiguous sexual development, and certain type of cancer. So what we suggest what do you do with IVF? IVF is in vitro fertilization. So when does it take? When a woman has a tubal block or cannot conceive by natural way, then one goes for IVF. So here, this is the egg which we have taken out from, or follicle which is we have taken out from the ovary. And after fertilization, it looks like this. Okay, the embryo looks like this. It's 4 stage, and then multiple, and then you implant this inside the uterus. And if it is successful, then this will grow into a normal baby. And one good thing about this is IVF does not produce any abnormal babies or any abnormalities seen rather than what is seen in the normal conceiving. So if here we have one more advantage is that if you know that, okay, a person is having thalassemia, or say a person is having some sort of know that the previous child was of particular chromosomal abnormality, then one can pinch one cell from this and go for diagnosis. The next stage where we can help the patient, which is coming up, is stem cell that produce sperm of mice and have been grown in lab when implanted in infertile mice. The cells fathered the offspring genetically related, an original mouse from the other cell type. This advantage opens up the exciting range of possibility for future research, from developing new treatment of male infertility, enhancement of the survival of enlarged species. Similar approach to humans will be possible in future. For certain types of infertility, doctors may one day be able to remove cells from the infertility and introduce to develop into a sperm. Excuse me? If there is...
No, some outer, sorry.
Now this infertility, we have tried that introducing stem cell inside the uterus helps in retaining the embryo, and the success rate of IVF goes very high. So ART goes back to, it's not a very new thing that, okay, infertility is a new thing. No, ART goes back to Dwapar Yuga, where one can know that, see, Dasarath was infertile, Pandu was infertile, but that time our science was so highly developed that we could make them fertile after giving some sort of drug. And even the Gandhari gave birth to 100 children, which is not possible in a literal way. But what happens is he gave the aborted material, was divided into 100 pots. And the technology was so advanced at that time that in 100 pots, 100 children, they could give the birth to 100 children. So hence we can see that there are many ways and how you can help the couple to get pregnant. And secondly, suppose if the uterus is not able to carry, then one can go to surrogacy, where you can fertilize couple's egg with sperm, and then after, when it grows into embryo, that can be introduced into another woman's uterus, and the child can develop in that. But the child will be biologically of that couple only. So once when we were in abroad in a meeting, somebody said that your Indian population is so high. Why do you need IVF? Then the answer was, my sir, Dr. B.N. Chakravarti gave, was that one, a craze for the biological child, and until and unless it is impossible, they would not like to go for a reduction. So it is, we are here to try to help them in whatever way we can. And now one more thing is that if one has a cancer and takes a chemotherapy, then before chemotherapy, one can freeze the sperm or ovum and keep it, so that at the later stage of their life, they can go for pregnancy. Thank you.
Thank you, Nalini, for a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. You very clearly described different reasons of infertility, several causes of infertility. We normally think about polycystic ovary and structural deformity of uterus, ovary, fallopian tube, etc. are the causes of infertility of the female. But you emphasized on the genetic factor. It is very important, and we normally overlook about these genetic factors, but you emphasized it, and that is very important point. Genetic factor is behind the problem. So when a couple comes to a doctor for infertility problem, hearing about the infertility problem, it is advised to test first the karyotyping of that both the partner of to check whether there are chromosomal aberrations or anything deformities there or not. It's a very important aspect of curing infertility. Thank you, Nalini. Thank you very much. And I just spoke to you about today's event, and you agreed. You are very busy, I know.
No,
you agreed.
What is that?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Very nice presentation. I think everybody liked it. It is very nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rita. Anything? Any comment?
It's wonderful. Madam, I just want to tell you, you please be in Kolkata Nivedita Shakti and give some type of awareness to the ladies, because this is one ladies group. And this is my earnest request to you, madam.
Sure. As soon as this COVID problem is solved, one can easily move around.
Even in online.
After this problem. After this.
I will be very happy to. I'll contact somebody for this and I will join.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Be with us.
Thank you. So maybe our next speaker, Dr. Ratnaboli, is she around?
Yes, I'm here if you can see me.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome, Didi.
Dr. Mayuri already introduced you. So you please, we are very happy that you came here and joined our virtual platform. And we are very eager to listen from you about your research and your idea and your solution about this infertility problem. So please go ahead with your presentation, please.
Thank you very much.
With the permission of all the Didis, I just want to tell Ratnaboli Di is very dear to us, means Kolkata Nivedita Shakti. In 2015, we did one program like this, and that is in Salt Lake, and Didi was inaugurated that program, and the program was very nice, and Didi's talk was excellent. Again, we got you. This is our privilege. Thank you, Didi.
Thank you.
Okay, so good, thank you very much. Thanks everybody for kind introduction and inviting me here. Because during this pandemic, what happened, we became very near and dear ones. We are meeting more frequently. We are talking over Zoom and Zoom Meet and whatnot regularly. And even our friends from US, UK and everywhere are joining us. So I'm seeing Dr. Nalini Gupta after say 4 years. During this pandemic, we have not met, and it is really, I'm thankful that I can see Didi, because we really respect her, because throughout her early career, nowadays a lot of companies have come up with this karyotyping and others. But earlier, when we were young, if we ever wanted to do any karyotyping, then only Dr. Gupta was at her hand. She used to help us. Otherwise, there was no other way in Calcutta. So we are always grateful to her. And our chief guest, Dr. Siddhartha Chatterjee, because when he is almost 3 years senior to me, and he was we were following him, as we learned a lot of infertility things from Dr. B.N. Chakravarti and others. But he was, 3 years is not a very big gap. So we looked at him and we followed him. Now, Dr. Nalini Gupta has discussed in detail, then Siddhartha has talked, and so there is nothing much scientific to discuss right now. What I would tell you some stories, I think that will be interesting, more interesting. Like when in 1981, in the month of August, September, I had my final MBBS exam. And my center was at National Medical College. And when I appeared for the exam, on the last day, there was gynae exam, gynae and obs. So I was doing well. So the head examiner said that if you can answer this question, then I'll give you honors marks. So I was really very, interested to answer the question. Then he said, what is IVF? And luckily, at that point of time, IVF was just coming in the market. So not many people will know about it. But however, I knew it, so I could answer. So he said, have you heard the name of Dr. Subhash Mukherjee? And I just remembered that there was something coming up in the paper, because only a month or so before our exam, he expired. There was an accidental death. All of you know that. So something came in the paper that I could remember. I said, yes, sir, And I could now remember, I could just think about it, the way that our examiner laughed, and the way he said that, see, look at these guys, they claim something, then cannot prove, and they die. So I, as a student at that point of time, I was a bit shocked. However, I thought that I have answered, I got honors, so I was happy. Later on, when all these things came in front of me, we were really intrigued that will this continue again and again in India, especially in Calcutta, Bengal, where somebody has done such a great work, which is uncomparable. Because at that point of time, sitting in NRS Medical College, it is nearly impossible to have a proper lab where somebody can work. At that situation, Dr. Subhash Mukherjee worked, and his work was much, much ahead of time. What was done by, at that point of time, by Robert Edwards and Patrick, it was much ahead of that. Later on, I was lucky enough to meet Robert Edwards also. We had a conference in Australia. We met him, he signed in his book, and we could shake our hands. And I really felt lucky, but I always thought of him, then my God, this person claimed to be having the first test tube baby being born in India, in Calcutta, on 2nd of October 1970, and then he had to die like this. We heard a lot of rumors about it. Then luckily we found that in one of our meetings, Dr. Anand Kumar, he came from Mumbai at that point of time, and he started researching about the whole matter. Dr. Anand Kumar was very famous at that point of time because he was also involved in the first test tube baby, which was claimed to happen with Dr. Indira Hinduja in Mumbai. So he came, he researched where from the medicines came, who supplied the medicine, because gonadotrophins were not available at that point of time in India. So those, came from abroad. And ultimately, it has been proved that the first test tube baby in India was done by Dr. Subhash Mukherjee, that too in Calcutta. The baby was known as Durga, and recently the Durga came to the front and said, yes, it is true. So now Government of India has also taken that into account. Now, this is one of the stories, and then I can tell you a story that is also a very sad story. Nowadays, if you listen to the people not conceiving, they will either say, I have got polycystic ovaries, or they will say, I'll have chocolate cysts, or they'll say, my husband has got a problem. These are the main three issues. But when we were students and I was doing my post-graduation, 1885, 86, 87, and my subject was infertility and laparoscopy. Laparoscope came to India at that point of time. So I was using it to find out the findings in infertile patients, and we were finding tuberculosis is the main cause. Tuberculosis, which are closing the two tubes, and so pregnancy is not happening. As Dr. Gupta said, the tubal factor is a very big factor. So at that point of time, it was the main reason. Now, later on, as we grew up and entered into the practice, and we are practicing in Calcutta, the tuberculosis gradually went to the back seat. And we are getting more and more cases of polycystic ovaries, which are due to mainly lifestyle as well as genetic in origin. And secondly, endometriosis and chocolate cyst. So I remember a lady in a very early part of my practice who came to me. He was this this Anganwadi worker in a village in Howrah, district of Howrah. So he came with chocolate cyst. At that point of time, there are not much, ultrasound machines. So we found out an ultrasound machine. It was done. The chocolate cyst that was operated. She recovered and she conceived as well. Then after she conceived, she was, continuing with the pregnancy. And this is what I'm telling, sad part of the story. As she was an Anganwadi, worker, she told that I can deliver at my local hospital in Howrah. So she was showing over there, and usually these cases, they deliver much, much earlier. maybe at 7 months, 8 months. And at that point of time, a baby which is born 1 kg, 1.5 kg, much earlier, could not be tackled at that level. Now our Chief Minister have arranged to have much more NICUs at different parts of Bengal. At that point, it was not available. So the baby which was born expired after 3-4 days. And then lady came back again to us, again with the chocolate cyst and others. And we were treating her. Then suddenly we heard that she committed suicide because her husband was going to marry another lady. So this is what the basis of infertility, because infertility not only is a situation, you can't call it a disease. It is due to some disease, but it is absolutely jeopardizing a family life, a social life, a cultural life, and as well as it's a personal life is totally jeopardized. No other disease can cause it. So we at those who are treating the infertile patients sometimes get surprised that a woman has come with a lot of problems. We're just thinking that what to do with her, and give her something. We for you do this test, you come back. Then we thought we'll talk about test to baby to her, and she came back after 2 months being pregnant. And it becomes so surprising how it happened. And many a times it seems that everything is okay. Even we are doing IVF test to baby, she's failing every time. Why it is happening, we don't know. What I want to say, that we say it's a God's gift. When we say this, because when we don't know what is actually happening. So in infertility, we talk a lot. The maximum number of conferences are there with infertility now. Maximum numbers of books in gynecology is there. But even then, we have not reached the total, arena of the problem which is causing infertility and how to treat it. So as Dr. Nalini Gupta will agree with me, that earlier we were not looking at the chromosomes or genetic part of it. We were looking at tubes, we are looking at the sperms, we are looking at the ovaries, the uterus. But now we know a good number of cases are due to genetic or chromosomal problems. So now we are routinely doing it, and we are finding that absolutely normal men and women, they have got some problems in their chromosome, which is not causing any harm to them. But whenever they're meeting, and the egg is fertilized by the sperm with having the same chromosomal problems, which we sometimes call the balanced translocations, that is not congenial with the baby's health. So we used to say Janam Patri before marriage. So now we say, please do a genetic study or a chromosomal analysis before going for shadi, the marriage, because that is most important. Whether this balanced translocation is will be balanced by the other one, or it will become imbalanced and is not congenial with it, that will be known to it. Now, the last point which I would really like to say and stress on everybody, that is stress and strain and lifestyle. This is causing a majority of problems of infertility nowadays. So in case of male, there are two types of problems. One is real sexual problems due to stress and strain and lack of rest, total change in the lifestyle, the foods and everything. These boys are coming to us, these men are coming to us with erectile dysfunction. So they cannot have proper physical relations. And the second group is they are having proper physical relations, but the sperm quality is absolutely not good. Either the count is less, or they're not moving at all, or even they're moving, their quality is bad. Nowadays, we do a lot of tests like DNA fragmentation test. And to my utter surprise, I can tell you the result of last 6 months. I was just going through that day because we are going for a paper publication. We found that 99% of the sperms that are coming to us, obviously they are bad, so they are coming to us for the test. And DNA fragmentation rate is very high. Means there is some problem, maybe nutritional, maybe lifestyle, we don't know, that their sperms, the DNA material of the sperms are getting degenerated. Dr. Gupta will be able to tell more about that. But we're really finding it. it should be less than 15, we are getting more than 70, more than 65 are getting degenerated. So lifestyle is really causing a big problem in the male fertility system. Similarly happening in the female as well. The female are nowadays, we have asked them to study more. We have asked them to do some job and then go for the marriage. So the age is receding. And as Dr. Gupta has said, the number of eggs are decreasing. The quality of the eggs are becoming bad because of the chromosomes are getting mutated. And therefore, when they're really trying for pregnancy, the eggs are not fertilizing at all. Secondly, what is happening due to the lifestyle, they are doing more computer work, sitting at the same place, having stress. They have to meet certain, at the end of the month, they have to give certain results, things like that. And also the food. So sitting at a place, having junk foods, not getting time to cook your own food, ultimately giving rise to a lot of problems in the body, the obesity, the eggs are not coming out at proper time. And polycystic ovary is now an epidemic in India. So today it has been found that polycystic ovary is a genetic in origin. So anybody in the family who is having diabetes is transferring the gene to this girl, will in the early age develop hyperinsulinemia and later on will develop diabetes. And hyperinsulinemia is the cause which is affecting the egg quality as well as causing anovulation. So they're not having periods at proper times. They're becoming very fat, developing pimples on the face and hair, unwanted hair growth, and are not ovulating. So when they're going for the pregnancy, trying for pregnancy, they're not getting pregnant. Now, when they're coming to us, it is very easy treatment for us. Change in the lifestyle, the diet, exercise, and giving some metformins. And those who listen to us, they get pregnant. Those who are not listening, so they are coming back again with increasing 2 kgs of weight. We are getting at the 18 years of age, young girl, 118 kgs weight. So these girls, how they can, conceive later on. So these are the points. Now we just cannot change the direction of our social custom. We have asked the girls to, study, to have some career and then get married. So this will happen. But however, we have a control on our lifestyle. You have to do that. So exercise and diet and less of a stress. Don't put everything on your head. So a bit of a meditation, a bit of a pursuing hobby. These we say, apart from the proper treatment of infertility, which has got miles ahead. That is not only IVF, we are doing ICSI, that is we're taking one egg, one sperm and injecting the sperm in the egg. Then we are going, instead of 2 to 3 days, we are going up to 5 to 6 days of culture of blastocyst, then transferring it, we are cryopreserving it. And before transferring, we are seeing its genetic constituents, so that those who are chromosomally abnormal, we are not transferring them. So the pregnancy rate is going higher and higher, 60%, 70%, like that. So these are regularly we are doing, but there is, above all, there is many things we don't know, which are in the process of research. All of us who are present over there here, including Dr. Gupta, Dr. Chatterjee, myself, we are in the process of research every time. And also the lifestyle, which is natural as we can stay near to nature, the results will be good. So I think I have talked enough, and I must give now chance to my next speaker. Thank you very much for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be here. And definitely in another program, if you call me, I'll be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ratnavali. Thank you very much. Madam, thank you very much. You narrated very sensitive incidents and very truly mentioned that motherhood is nothing but a real gift from God. Nature Mother has designed the mechanism very uniquely, and we must thank Mother Nature for this unique mechanism of reproduction. But if for some reasons, be it genetical or environmental or physiological, causes some problem, you doctors, next to God, you come and you examine and find the causes and then give us the solution And with your help, many deprived women get back their strength and get normal baby, and you made them happy. So thank you very much, Dr. Madam. And your advice is very true. All the social activities and meditation and everything you suggested, it's very informative suggestions you give, valuable advices you have given. So thank you very much. Thank you.
থ্যাংক ইউ দিদি। আচ্ছা, আমি একটু আপনাদের পারমিশন নিয়ে বলছি। আমাদের মধ্যে অনেকে আছেন, there are so many the audience or who has joined here, they want to ask question. Maybe I'm sure here I have seen Dr. Bipasa Shin. I'm sure she will ask some question, that I'm sure. So before that, let us go to the next speaker, our dear Dr. Ruma Bandyopadhyay. She is from homeopathy, so that will be little different. Shampadi, is it okay?
Yeah, sure. Let her join and let her present about her feelings and her advice and her experience about the deprived mothers and advice for the deprived mothers. It will be very beneficial for them. Please, Dr. Ruma Bhattacharya, please.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much that I have got this opportunity to say something about that homeopathic treatment, along with the medicine, definitely, how helping to overcome this infertility. Actually, I joined Dr. Porimal Banerjee 30 years back. And first, the thing which just struck on my mind, that is one of my relative who was suffering from infertility. And he said that, that I went for this IVF under Dr. B.N. Chakraborty, and we are blessed with a twin baby. That time I asked Dr. Banerjee, sir, can't we do anything for this infertility? Don't we have any medicines or method how we can overcome? Because we know that in India, there are two classes of people. Number one, who already fail after doing so many treatment in other system of medicine. And the other class is those who are poor. They are not able to bear the expenditure and everything. So he said, yes, if you are interested, then you can join with me and do the research. So from that day onwards, we have started in our research institute how our homeopathic medicines helps. So right now, after hearing from stalwarts in infertility, in the gynecologist in this session, it is clear that the causes. So I don't want to stretch my, what can I say, my speech longer. The reason, the solve, how to solve it. So I can only say that there are so many cases like PCOD, tubal block, even after doing so many treatment, they failed. And in Bengali, we say that Jarnei kono goti shei kore homeopathy. So usually these kind of people after that came to us in our institute, and we started our treatment. And we are the only institute who can say that this medicine in this particular potency acts on ovary. This medicine had got a great role to regularize the follicle stimulating hormone, the estrogen regulation and everything. So we have seen there are a lot of cases in our institute where it has recorded that those who are already declared that it is quite impossible to be a normal way of conception other than this IVF, they conceived and delivered a healthy baby. So it is a very interesting that how homeopathic medicine helps those people who are already suffering from PCOD, and in spite of doing their regular exercise, diet, after reduction of weight, after taking so many hormonal medicines and treatment, insulin control and everything, in spite of that, PCOD is still there. The symptoms related to the PCOD is producing. And after 6 months, 1 hour, sometimes it takes a little bit more time, they got cured and became pregnant. And the young ladies nowadays, Dr. Ratnabali already said that a huge amount of women are suffering, especially the young ladies are suffering from this PCOD because of their lifestyle, the eating of so many things, and the ready-made foods like that. So they are also coming with the overweight, with beard, mustache and everything. And after our treatment, we have seen that they improved a lot. And after marriage, they became pregnant and delivered a baby. Sorry. So this much I can say that our homeopathic medicine can do. Still, we are doing so many research with our medicines, and we are trying to give more support to the people. And we opened one charitable dispensary particularly for this, so that people may come and consult us and take the help of homeopathic medicines where they are financially not strong enough, or where they have already declared that other than IVF they can't do anything. So thank you very much. This much I can say, that homeopathy is nowadays doing so much good things, I think, in all aspects, especially in infertility. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya. Thank you for your advice. And actually, yes, it is true that the deprived section of women who are not, who cannot afford IVF or other costly treatment, so they definitely can go for this medicine, homeopathic medicine treatment, and take help from your. So Rita, please, you have the contact of Dr. Bhattacharya, and you,
yes.
yeah.
She's very good friend of mine.
Okay, so we are very privileged that we have so nice friend in our group, in our team, Kolkata Nivedita Shakti, and the women who need her help, please get in touch with Rita, and
always she is helping, always.
Okay, thank you. So thank you very much. So now in the question answer session, all speakers are present here, I think. So Rita, please, you conduct the question answer session.
Thank you. First, I would like to request Dr. Bipasa Chen. Please come and ask question or add something or tell us something about this program.
Thank you. I have been listening to all the speakers and getting enriched, and it is very pleasant listening to all of them and seeing all them also, because we don't meet each other nowadays. Anyway, as you know, you first talked to me, and I told you that I am mainly in obstetrics as far as my practice goes. And the second part, my passion is menopause medicine, menopause ladies. So, but directly I am not dealing with this section of unfortunate ladies. So I don't have anything to tell regarding this treatment of infertility, but I do see one thing. Since I am in obstetrics, nowadays even in government hospital also, what we didn't see in our student days or in our early age, nowadays many ladies, they are getting married at 34, 35 years, or and they are fortunate. I meet the fortunate ladies only who become pregnant. They many of them get first pregnancy at 39 years, 41 years, like this, which really surprises me. Apart from the infertility section, there are definitely ladies who are coming in late 35 plus age and conceiving. So if they get married after 35, naturally, if there is any problem, mm, the problem is really serious, and they have to they have very less time to wait for spontaneous pregnancy to occur, and they have to go for infertility specialists like you. That is the thing. Okay.
Thank you so much. Actually, Indian Menopause Society is a society, life starts after 40. So there I got the friend like Dr. Bipasa Sen and Didi like Ratnabolidi. So when I was calling Ratnabolidi, I'm not getting her. So I called her. I know she will say always yes to me. Even then she is very busy. So I called Dr. Bipasa Sen. She said, I'm not in that position. But if you tell me, theoretically, I can say, but Ratnabolidi is the best person to tell. So I said, I'm not getting Didi. You send me Didi's another phone number. Whatever she sent, the same number. Then she has given her assistant's number. She is also the member of IM, Indian Menopause Society, IMS. So anyway, I got Didi and the program was really, really very nice. Thank you so
I'm
much.
happy that it worked finally.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now the question answer session. Is there anybody who wants to ask question? Just raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask one after one. All of them are there. Both the Didis and Dr. Bipasa Sen also there. So you can ask if you have any question. Is there any question? Anybody wants to ask any question? Then please unmute yourself. You can ask question in Bangla also. Here, some are there who are from suburbs, or some of them who will be very, who will feel shy to speak in English. For them, যে কোনো কেউ বাংলায়ও প্রশ্ন করতে পারো।
Itadi, good evening. It was a wonderful session. It was absolutely amazing and very enriching. All the speakers were absolutely, brilliant in whatever they said. I just had a question that, as Madam told, that maybe age is one of the factors for women, and definitely it is really very currently with the way women are performing so well in their careers. So definitely it becomes very difficult to plan for family and then go ahead with the career. So I just had a question that, I'm seeing many of my friends who are 41, above 40, and they are having their second child, and for them it is not becoming any problem. So is it that conceiving the first child at a younger age and the second child doesn't become any problem? I mean, for secondary pregnancy, age is not that much an issue? That
This
was
is
my
very interesting question. Very interesting question. I would ask whether we should discuss in English, or if there are people who are comfortable with Bengali, we should talk in Bengali.
জি কোনো একটা তো বললেই হবে ম্যাডাম
না বাকিদের কোনো অসুবিধা হচ্ছে না তো, because these are very interesting things that should be discussed. There are two ages of it. Number one is when we are in mother's womb, 20 weeks of pregnancy. Then in case of male, the testes in the testes, and in case of female, the ovaries are met, they are formed inside the body, and all the eggs and all the sperms are now deposited over there. They are all formed at that point of time. So after we are born, we just start losing the eggs. So when we are at our age of first menstruation, maybe 10 years, 11 years, or 12 years, at that, which we call our adolescent age, at that point of time, we have 300,000 eggs in each ovary on an average. Now, this is like a bank balance that is being transferred to you from your mother or father, the parents. And therefore, you have no no hold on it. You cannot control it. How many eggs you have in your ovaries or how many sperms you have in your testes, you have no control on it. So somebody may be born with 300,000 eggs, somebody may be born with 500,000 eggs, somebody may be born with 50,000 eggs. So if the number of eggs are less, then after this first menstruation, when every month 30 to 40 eggs starts growing, and like a school race in the sports, 10 girls start running, and one will become first, and one will become second, one third, and the rest will not get any position. Similar happens here. 40 eggs starts growing, only one will ovulate. The rest of the eggs will degenerate. So every month, everybody is losing 30 to 40 eggs. So if I have got good number of eggs in my ovaries, I can conceive even at the age of 50. But if the number of eggs are less, even at the age of 20, I'll have menopause. So this is the core fact. How many eggs we have got, we don't know. There are few tests by which we can find it out. For example, nowadays, if a girl comes to me at the age of 30, says, ma'am, I'm not going to marry now, or I have married, but I am going to UK, I'll come back after 5 years and then I'll try for pregnancy. So what should I do? So when this is the question, we can tell them that I can look at the number of eggs you have got. I can't count it and say like the stars in the sky, but I can give you an idea. So there is a blood test called AMH, and we can also look by sonography on the second day of the period, the number of eggs and the volume of the ovaries, by which we can predict somehow that you have got adequate number of eggs, or more number of eggs, or less number of eggs. This much we can say. Secondly, now the girls have become more advanced. They are coming to us. They said, I'm not going to marry now. I don't know whether I'll marry in future or not. Maybe I won't like anybody to stay with, but I want a baby. When I become 38 to 40 years of age, that is my career end, I have decided. So at that time, I will ask for a baby with my own eggs. So doctor, you just take out my eggs and cryopreserve it in liquid nitrogen in your lab. And when I'll come back and ask for the baby, then you give me a baby. So this is also happening. Very recently, I have got a girl coming, not a girl, she's a married girl, woman, maybe aged 30, 35, came to me, and with her came another lady who is round about 50. And the girl said that I'm married, I'm not going to get pregnant now. Maybe it will take 6-7 years because my husband is now posted in China and I'm in UK. So I'm not going to get pregnant now, but I think I must have my eggs cryopreserved. And then I said, oh no, she's not married. And then I said, okay, I can keep your eggs cryopreserved, but it is better to keep the embryo cryopreserved. That means after fertilization, they can stand this cryopreservation better than cryopreservation of the oocytes, eggs. So you are married, so can your husband give the sperms? So the other lady said, yes, I'll tell my son to come and give the sperm, and you keep it frozen. Though they are not socially married, they are married on registration and they are going abroad. When they'll come back after 4-5 years, they'll get married and then we will have the child. So the mothers, she's the mother-in-law of this girl, lady. She is also so much advanced in knowledge that she knows as the age will advance, the number of eggs will decrease, the quality of eggs. These eggs, due to certain, there are a lot of changes happening in our world, on the earth. Lot of magnetic field changes, lot of radiations, lot of chemicals, pesticides, which are causing the mutation of the chromosomes. So when we really want to have a baby, the eggs which are coming out in this month, we don't know whether they are mutated, they are degenerated. What is happening the next month? What is the situation of the sperms? So when we want, maybe we are not being able to do that. So in that case also, with age, the quality of the eggs, that also degenerates. Not only the quality of the eggs, but also the sperms, and after fertilization, the chances of getting pregnant decrease as the age increases. So taking all this into consideration, we always say that if it is better, get pregnant before 30, because 24 to 28 is the best age to get pregnant.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anybody? Any question? Or we will just wrap it up? Any question? I'm requesting Dr. Nonini Didi and already our Didi, already I know her, Ratnaboli Didi and Dr. Vipasa Chen. So please be with KNS. And I'm requesting another thing, that from Indian Menopause Society, can we do jointly any program? Like today, we are doing one program, the IEM with KNS. So if it is possible, Kolkata Nivedita Shakti is ready to do any awareness program, especially women health program with you.
Please. So we regularly do this program. So
I know,
if you contact any of us, Vipasha is there. So no issues, just talk with her. And we need a letter from your side requesting the Secretary of Indian Menopause Society to have the program. We can arrange it. It's no problem.
Requesting
I mean, yeah. Now we have got a federation. India, all India is a federation. So now we are named as part of the city. So we are Kolkata Menopause Society.
Okay, Didi. Thank you. Thank you. Now over to Dr. Mayuri Datta.
Thank you so much, madam. We all know Rita Di so very well, but it is seldom that we get the opportunity to introduce her. And I would like to take first the opportunity to give a short introduction of Rita ma'am also, because she's such popular among all of us, and she also needs what she deserves. Rita Bhattacharya ma'am is an Indologist, awarded 2 gold medals in her post-graduation. She received her PhD from Department of Sanskrit, Jadavpur University, and MPhil, and did her postdoc project at the Asiatic Society, Kolkata. A teacher of Sanskrit and physiology, she's renowned teacher. She had been a renowned teacher around Kolkata colleges. She's an ardent social worker, National Secretary of Shakti, a woman wing of Jnana Bharati, National Project member, Bharatiya Vikas Parishad, President of West Bengal chapter of Lok Bhasha Prachar Samiti, an active member of various academic and non-academic organizations, and is one of the founder of Kolkata Nivedita Shakti. It's all about her, and we all idolize her. I would just request others to follow her steps and let us all be like her. This I really wanted to do so, Rita ma'am. Please don't get annoyed. I wanted to say something about you, and I'm doing so. May I now take the opportunity? To invite Dr. Sangamitra, who is she is working with chemistry department in IAM. She's a faculty there, and it is all because of Sangamitra ma'am that we get the opportunity to organize programs such as the one which we are doing today with IEM. Sanghamitra is always ready to coordinate with us and make sure that KNS does the best of the programs in collaboration with IEM. So I would request Sanghamitra ma'am to come forward and deliver the vote of thanks to all the respectful people who had come today, joined us in this program. And I personally feel this to be one of the best programs of KNS in 2022. Thank you so very much, Rita ma'am and Professor Shampa ma'am for organizing this, and we look forward for another 2 programs coming up tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And I request all of you who have joined today to join us tomorrow as well as day after tomorrow. So over to Sanghamitra ma'am. Thank you very much, and may I be excused because now I have to leave from this place and go to my home. So they are all calling me to join them to go out. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayuri.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayuri. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayuri. Thank you so much. It's really an honor. And to conclude such an enriching session, it is definitely, it is the entire honor is mine. And as Mayuri told, that staying and working, or even to know Rita Di, is such a blessing. We learn so much from her each and every day. We talk about women empowerment. I think she's a a living example of what women can do, and the way she makes us involved in so many things that everybody involved with KNS, after managing our family, our workplaces, we still find out time to contribute back to the society, and definitely because of Rita Di. And similarly, Shampadi, Mayuri, thank you for enlightening us throughout the journey in each and every events. And what more to say about today's great speakers, Dr. Siddhartha Chatterjee, Dr. Nalini Gupta madam, Dr. Ratnavali Chakraborty madam, and Dr. Ruma Bhattacharya. Rumadi, I hope you are doing well. And one of the most priceless experiences that myself and Rita Devi had was with you in Parimal Bhattacharya sir's book release. It's one of the most memorable experiences. So it was wonderful hearing you again. And I thank all the participants, and I thank everybody who spoke today. And I hope that along with KNS, I will extend my request to Dr. Ratnabuli Chakraborty madam that even IEM will like to be a part of such such ventures where we can discuss about such very serious issues like women menopause. We are all faculty members there. We are working under stress, and definitely we are all growing old. So I will request Rita Di and Ratnaboli madam that please do include IEM, and we will definitely want to organize this event together so that it can be an awareness program for our students and faculty members as well. So I once again thank all of you. Thank you everybody for joining today's session. And yes, we will be having 2 more events tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So we'll request all of you to join us there as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Have a great. Yes.
Hello. I have a question. Can it possible to share the doctor number in the group, for gynecological
I will
help?
not in group. I will share you. Okay.
Yes.
You contact me. I will share you.
Right.
You are the member of KNS, so you can call me anytime. So, okay. Really,
thank you.
I don't want to say bye-bye, but I have to say, let us pray.
Thank you so
Sarve
much.
bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti.